I, a female 21, live with my parents. I'm a full-time student and do seasonal work during the holidays. My parents don't charge me rent. I understand I'm quite privileged. I have one sibling, my brother Curtis, 28. He moved out 4 years ago and lives with his wife and 2 kids, tween and young grammar school age. Curtis and I recently had a big argument, and I think he's unreasonably hostile towards me. He owes me an apology. The argument started because my parents brought up my living situation at dinner and mentioned that the house would feel empty when I moved out. Curtis said that he thinks I'm spoiled because they don't charge me rent and that it's unfair that they charged him rent when he lived under their roof, but didn't charge me rent. My dad told Curtis to stop it, and that was different. Curtis already had a kid when he was 18 and was working full-time, and he also had his different girlfriends at the time living in the house. After dinner, Curtis, my mom, and I were alone in the kitchen, and he again brought it up. He accused our mom of coddling me and said that if I were his child, he'd charge me rent. My mom kept deliberately talking over him, but Curtis kept bringing it up and raising his voice. I just left the room and he followed me a few minutes later. He accused me of being the golden child and said he didn't understand why our parents wouldn't listen to him. I called him controlling and said that whether I pay rent to them is actually not his business and it doesn't affect his life. He started full-on screaming at me and said he'd never be controlling towards his family. I was horrible to even say that. Everyone else heard his screaming, and his wife told him it was time for them to go home, and they left. I feel quite lost regarding this situation, and I wonder if I was the idiot. Edit, to clarify, my parents did help a lot with each child, especially my brother's firstborn. It wasn't a roommate relationship or something. They paid a lot for the big-ticket baby items like the crib, the stroller, and babysat. Both kids are biologically his, but they have different mothers. His wife is the mother of the youngest. Not the idiot. I don't see the disparity. He brought 3 people into the household when you were a minor. Your parents put a roof over his child, and another adult's head. Of course he should be contributing to the accumulated cost. It could be worded that he was rent-free. The rent was because there was a non-family member adult in the household, and a child is expensive, so he should contribute to the extra cost of having a baby or a toddler in the house. I doubt the rent he paid covered their expenses, and he was happy to pay them then. The girlfriends are the kicker for me. If my son had a kid at 18 and is scrambling to get his feet under him, I can do free rent, especially if he has a plan for his career. He's in school, an internship, applying for higher paying jobs, etc. But the live-in girlfriends are a choice. It was fair that they charged him rent. He was an adult who wanted to hit all the adult points. OP, it sounds like you struck a nerve calling him controlling. I bet it's not the first time he's been called that. Following you around the house and yelling at you is some seriously abusive behavior. I wonder if his wife experiences that every time he wants to be right. Also, how the heck is it that you're being coddled by not having to pay the rent, but he wasn't being coddled by not having to pay for cribs, strollers, etc., for the children he was responsible for creating? It seems like he's not just the idiot, but also the deluded, entitled idiot. He's manipulative and jealous, and that's a Curtis problem. I, 26 female, have a stepsister, 18, whom I've not seen in many years. She was so young when I last saw her. My relationship with my mom, her stepmom, was never a good one. She was never a good parent to me. When she decided to get married and settle down while also not attempting to be a good mom to me, I made the decision to fight hard to get my dad to win custody of me, which he did when I was 13. My mom was supposed to go to therapy and classes before the courts attempted to try reunification therapy for us, but she never took those steps, so we never did the therapy together, and won't. I have zero desire to be part of her life. I had a relationship with her parents and siblings, though not a close one. They included me, though, and I would see my mom from a distance for a few years at occasional family gatherings. My stepsister would also be there, and she became far closer to my maternal side over time than I was. My reason for not being very close to my maternal side is that they would encourage me to give my mom a chance, They would try to talk me into taking on the role of a big sister for her stepdaughter because they knew my mom had zero desire to have any children at all and would not be having more. Apparently, her stepdaughter struggled with not having siblings, so they wanted me to fill that gap for her. I wasn't interested then, and I'm not interested now. I don't hate the girl, but simply put, we are not family. I really had very little to do with anyone from my mom's side in a good 4 years. I received a digital invite to the baby shower 3 weeks ago, and I RSVP'd no. This was followed by another one in a message from my stepsister saying she wanted her baby's aunt to be there. It was followed by another message begging me to change my mind, and then another invitation she personalized to ask me to be there. She told me not to bring a gift, just me, because I would be the real gift. I told her I wasn't interested again, and then I blocked her. But she followed me to another platform, and then she begged and pleaded with me to change my mind. She said it wasn't too late for us to be sisters, and for me to be her baby's aunt. I told her I wouldn't attend her baby shower, and I wouldn't change my mind just because she kept asking or sending invites. She told me she didn't understand why I hated her, and this interaction prompted contact from my maternal grandparents. They told me I shouldn't have been so cruel, and that if I really had to let her down, I should have made it way softer. Am I the idiot? I'm curious why your stepsister is so fixated on having a relationship with you. It's not like you were around much or doted on her and then disappeared. Why is it so important to the family that you fulfilled this person's fantasy of what a sister's like? Stepsister built up this relationship in her mind without any facts or even time spent together. Teens are fixated on famous people and insist their idols reciprocate the relationship. You seem to have no more relationship with your stepsister than you have with the checkout person at Target. And it fascinates me why your stepsister insists you need to have a relationship. Stepsister needs therapy to realize you don't owe her a relationship. Do you live close to them? The wording of "you're this baby's aunt" may suggest that your mother's stepdaughter wishes for you to take a portion of responsibility for this baby. I wonder if your maternal grandparents might have also been hyping up the idea of a free babysitter for the pregnant 18-year-old. Also, I question who you're punishing here. Is your stepsister catching strays because of your mom? How is OP punishing anyone here? You're reading too much into it. OP just keeps declining and is not doing anything bad. OP should run to block all of them. I guarantee there's a "can the baby and I move in with you? Can you babysit?" angle. People mistaking your indifference for hate is ridiculous. There is no gentle way of letting her down. You RSVP'd no like 3 times. Her expectations of you, a literal stranger these days, are over the top. And that's what's causing her hurt. That's not a you problem. My boyfriend was obsessed with Instagram. Like his feed is filled with women-hating reels. I tolerated this until it became a severe problem. He was so kind, caring, and whatnot. Now we watch his reels, like if she has a male best friend, she has casual intimacy. If she doesn't share her ID pass, she's a witch. Feminism caused women to become loose, etc. Now, I'm a doctor, so I have good friends at work. I have online friends too. Before dating him, I was friends with a guy who used to have a crush on me, but we both didn't want to date each other. Despite initial fights, we settled it down and are cool with each other. No, we don't meet alone or hang out. We text, purely platonic. We don't hang out even in a group, and as the feelings aren't reciprocated and he isn't trying to pursue me or flirt, he's good for a friend. In fact, he pressured me into telling my guy about him, which my guy was secure of. Now he doesn't have a crush on me anymore. It was like the way before we started dating. Now, the day he started watching these reels, he kept bugging me to share my ID passwords, which I didn't because my privacy matters. He's absolutely free to use my phone or check anytime he wants without asking me, but I won't let him see every darn thing every time. My female friends talk to me too. He has this BS mentality now. I don't speak to many guys. I have one guy friend I mentioned above, and he's online. He barely met me once for 30 minutes, years ago. I don't hang out with guys, and I'm very loyal. I trust him too. He believes in this stupid mentality that being possessive is caring. And by possessive, I mean controlling someone and their actions. I by no means am unloyal. In fact, this is my first ever date, and I plan to marry him, but I'm not sure anymore. He doesn't trust me anymore. He labels this all as being caring and possessive. I'm too old to put up with this BS. If you don't trust me, why are you in a relationship? I can't help but feel that he's projecting sometimes now. He gets mad when I ask him to at least trust me. One day, he even forbade me to rant about our problems to my female BFF because she would, quote, try and break us up. He gave me this ultimatum of me or your close male friend out of nowhere. He has no female friends. I never stopped him, and is now demanding this or a breakup. I calmly told him no and asked him if something happened, and in turn, he threw a fit and started calling me names and a cheater. I left the house. I can't help but feel low. It's not that I don't value him over my friend, but this very friend was there when this guy treated me like crap, or when a loved one died. I could understand if he crossed boundaries or any ex, but no, he keeps trying to be this dominant guy. I blocked him now. Am I the idiot? Not the idiot. He sounds like an absolutely terrible influence on your state of being. I would kill this relationship dead and never look back. Otherwise, he'll destroy everything you love about yourself and life. I take his extremes as a blessing in disguise, and that he has shown you who he is. He's giving you the out. Don't falter. Block him now. Don't ever get sucked back in. He's dangerous, and you were this close to being tied to a very dark path. He sounds like a person who's only capable of loving you to destroy you. I just can't be bothered wasting time with women who are like, he hates women. He watches hateful content on women. He thinks other men who treat women like objects and property are cool, but he's nice with me sometimes. So I tolerate all the women hate because surely, that won't be directed at me, and he'll be a loyal, non-cheating great man in my life. I'm sure he'll raise and treat our kids great, not raise little slave women and misogynist men. For Pete's sake, if the man is out there spewing hateful ideas about women and loving people who hate women, leave. Have some self-respect and understand anytime he's pretending to be nice to you, he's manipulating and lying to you. Grow up. Take some responsibility. Your man is a piece of crap. You are the idiot to yourself. I, 26 male, was in a relationship with my girlfriend, 26, for 6 years. I was engaged to her, and our marriage was scheduled in a few months. My girlfriend had a daughter at a really young age. Her ex left the state immediately after we heard she got pregnant. When I started dating my girlfriend, her daughter was a toddler. Over the past 6 years, I've considered her my daughter and treated her as such. I had plans to legally become her stepfather after marriage. I loved my daughter so much. However, a couple of months ago, my girlfriend confessed she had been having an affair after I saw her text from a coworker. The texts were so outrageous that she really couldn't lie about the affair. She said she had been having an affair for a few months. I canceled the engagement and the wedding and moved out a week later. My girlfriend's daughter was a bit confused, and it hurt me, but I really didn't want to be around my girlfriend anymore. I've now completely cut off contact with both my girlfriend and her daughter. My girlfriend still texts me frequently and is asking me to reconsider at least maintaining a relationship with her daughter temporarily because her daughter's been constantly asking where her dad is and has even been crying a lot. This hurts me a lot, and I really wanted to maintain a relationship with my girlfriend's daughter. The issue is that if I go to their house, I'll have to see my girlfriend's face, and I just can't stand to see her face anymore. I'm trying to leave it all behind, and have already started going on new dates. Am I the idiot? Not the idiot. You should probably move on. It'll be the best way to get over it. You'll only hurt yourself more by seeing your ex. And when your ex gets into another relationship, she'll just cut you out of her daughter's life, and there's nothing you can do about it since you have no legal right to see her. Rode this ride before. Just because you care about the kid doesn't mean the ex cares about you caring about the kid. When she finds a new guy, you're gone. Your ex knew what she was doing when she banged a coworker and what it cost. She's just unhappy that she's paying the price. And each time the kid cries, it's a constant reminder of how badly she messed up. So she wants you to pay that price instead. If OP really wants her gone, he can tell her there's no way he can lie to the kid about why she had to go away and take the fall for her. Well, all of this is probably true. Still, the kid is the one left with the trauma. I would at least talk to the kid if I were OP to explain that she isn't the reason he's leaving, that he loves her and cares about her. Just explain that to her before he disappears, so she isn't left with all the questions her mother probably isn't giving her answers to. It's for the kid, not for the mother. Wow, a pre-tween losing 2 dads for mom's poor decisions. Poor kid. My family loves talking to each other. I hate it. I'll be in a conversation with someone, and someone else will butt in and add their 2 cents worth without waiting to be asked to participate or for me to be done talking. They all do it to each other, so I've adopted a reasonable strategy, but most of them seem to find it objectionable. If I'm speaking to someone and they or anyone else interrupts me, I will be done with that subject. Any attempt to get me back on track will be met with me changing the subject, pretending I have no idea what they're talking about, or walking away. Today, for example, I was talking to my grandfather about university when my cousin came over. He said I was dumb for going into debt instead of getting a trade. I assumed that my part in this conversation was complete, so when my cousin shut up, I started asking about his kids. My grandfather started asking me about university, and I said it was fine and refused to discuss it. Later, he and I discussed my boyfriend and our plans for the future. My grandfather is super invested in all our futures and likes the guy I'm dating. He saw a different cousin coming over to interject, and he literally told her to screw off and not interrupt a conversation that did not involve her. The rest of my family thinks I'm being a manipulative shrew. Still, they are allowing me to speak without being interrupted. My uncle did it while we were talking politics. Yes, we talk politics at family gatherings. He spoke over me on a point, and when he was done, I just got up and walked away. He tried to follow me, so I went to the bathroom, and he made an idiot of himself, talking to the door for a while after I went through the other door in the bedroom. My parents say I'm being rude and making everyone else look bad. I think they should learn how conversations work. Not the idiot. Did the middle of my sentence interrupt the beginning of yours? Is usually a pretty effective humiliation-based lesson as well. Obviously, there's nothing wrong with joining a conversation, but interrupting someone while they're actively speaking is rude. I'm coming down on everyone's the idiot here. Firstly, it sounds like people are being rude when they interrupt, so they're idiots. However, it's a natural feature of human language that people overlap with others, particularly when they're excited or want to ask for clarification. If they're engaging with your topic, I think you could be a bit insufferable if you're punishing them for asking a question or if someone else interrupts. Conversations should have equal give and take. So if you're just lecturing, which some of your comments suggest you might be, you're the idiot too.